Kiran, a few days ago, Newsweek published an article where a completely misogynistic man, condemned Taylor Swift for being a wrong role model for young girls. Because she has chosen to still be single at 34, she preaches independence of women. She has gone through a revolving door of relationships, and she isn't somebody that this legion of young girls across the planet should be emulating because it is disruptive to their happiness in the long run.
Isn't it so wonderful that it takes a man to tell women what their happiness should be?
And a man in her place, with her kind of success, choosing to be single, dating women, would never be condemned. Nobody would ever dare have a problem with that.
Has anyone said a thing about Harry Styles?
Exactly. Harry Styles in a girl's dress.
Has anyone said anything about Travis Kelce, her boyfriend who's also not married?
Exactly. But
So-
this is the whole double standard of society. That even someone of Taylor Swift's success, I mean, what does it take for a woman to reach that level of proving herself
Over and over again.
again?
Till she's become a phenomenon in pop music and pop culture, which is only rivaled by BTS in the current times.
And outrivals the Beatles,
Outrivals the Beatles, outrivals Michael Jackson, outrivals Prince,
Madonna.
Madonna, all who have come before her. And right now, amongst female pop stars, she's the only one ruling the roost.
4 consecutive years, 4 consecutive albums have all been on the top of the charts for over 6 weeks. This only the Beatles could manage, but not sustain it in the long run.
Mm.
Also, one of the reasons is they broke up, they split up. But this woman's power to stay and a chameleon-like ability to constantly reinvent herself is the reason she has continued to be relevant. So 2008 is when she officially launched her first album. And her success story began very quickly after that. But it's not like even now, her concert, there's something called seismic activity around Taylor Swift's concert.
At
It's called a
London.
Swift quake.
A Swift cave. They even measured it. And the London concert had the the largest vibrations.
Right? Imagine
mean-
that.
She's causing earthquakes.
She's causing earthquakes.
But the men can't see it, no? The man who wrote this, I don't know, how did he write it in this day and age?
And how did Newsweek
We
publish it?
How did they even think that this would go past without comment, without censure? That
You
women-
think he also did it to get some attention? Because when somebody is so loved or so famous, then you piggyback on their success by saying something controversial about them.
Yeah, probably he's hoping some Swifties might fall in love with him.
Possibly. And do you know that on Twitter, where his article got posted, if you read the comments below, a woman has gone to his account and screenshotted his quotes. One of them says, feminism was invented for ugly women who can't get lucky.
Really?
Yes.
He wishes.
So basically, if a woman is good looking, she's not going to be feminist because she doesn't need feminism to look at men and call them out for what they are.
I don't know what rock he's living under, this man, but the fact remains that there's so much to take offense with that opinion piece. So much. Of course, as you mentioned, that she's 34 and she's still single and she's childless. The second, the revolving door of relationships, because of course, women experience heartbreak more intensely than men. This is something that a man assumes. I think most men also experience heartbreak as
Maybe
painfully.
toxic masculinity doesn't permit them to
to-
express it as
Openly.
vocally and,
Yeah. And that's there. And then he says something about the fact, he mentions nothing about the fact that she does a lot of good. She does so much good. She does donations. She funds
child education.
She funds fans who cannot afford to come to her concerts. She has given more in food charity than the government of Britain.
Wherever she has performed the
Performed.
Eras tour, she has created a food bank there because
Hmm.
she doesn't want anyone to go without food on the 2-3 days or whichever number of days she's performing in a particular city, and she does it quietly. Now, somebody, some naysayer can say, no, this is a publicity stunt. Nobody is going to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on publicity stunts. She gave away a very large sum of money during COVID. And there's an old woman whose house got broken down during some hurricane. She was a pensioner. She gave away some $75,000 to her to rebuild a new home. She is also a big advocate for women's rights and violence against women. So she donates very actively to those organizations. And quietly, she goes about doing so much good.
She does so much good. And also, let's not forget the fact that she's rewritten the rules completely. When she couldn't buy back the rights to her songs, that was such a power move.
What a power move.
If that is not a role model for young women, she re-recording all her songs to get the rights back to herself.
And you know what? The thing is, she spent the pandemic. It's a lot of work to re-record so much music.
Yeah.
So during the pandemic, when, all of us were going through an existential crisis and wondering what next, and
baking banana bread
and dan noodles at home, she was laboring over all these songs and re-recording them, and some of them in their longer versions.
And that was Apple Music, I think, that she was against. Up against. She did that, and the fact...
She was also up against Apple Music, but that album recording thing that went wrong was that some investment fund bought over the label with which she had recorded first.
Okay.
And without her consent, while she would continue to get the royalties from her music, without her consent, her lifetime rights to that music.
So to do that, to re-record your music, to take back your power from a world that is intent on taking power away from you. As a female performing artist, we've heard this often enough.
Correct.
Women artists who have been recording and how they've been turned over badly. So many cases.
Yes.
But to do this in this day and age and so young, it's such a wonderful move. And why should she not be an icon for young women doing this?
Kiran also, when she was fairly new, so she, her growth as a musician and as a human being is very interesting. There are enough documentaries about that. She, her parents moved town. She used to live on some Christmas tree farm. They moved to Nashville because they knew their daughter has a singing, songwriting, musical talent that needs honing and the right mentoring. So firstly, there was a very big step for parents at the age of 9 to relocate completely, find new jobs there because this child of theirs was so talented. And she attended music writing classes, all songwriting classes also. Scott Fitzgerald is one of her favorite authors. She's
very
not just a pop star who sings popular chorus. She is actually a fairly good and powerful songwriter, which the well-read among us are not willing to acknowledge because it goes against their intellectual image of themselves.
Yeah, we only like Bob Dylan.
Exactly. So this is the thing that if you gave her music, you'll see a lot of people will scoff and say, oh, she writes only love songs. Those are people who are not familiar with her writing. She has sung a song about, she had to muffle her voice about US elections and politics because her manager and her dad had warned her that this is going to go against your concerts. People are not going to turn up if you start getting into politics also, so shut up. But she couldn't stand it any longer when one of the candidates, a woman candidate from Nashville, who was completely misogynistic, and she wanted to wipe out the law against violence against women. Rape, sex and assault rape, forced sex and assault against women, there was some sort of a legal, not clause, what is it called? Law against it. Yeah. There was a law against it, and she wanted to abolish that law.
Lovely. And that's
so one. She said that I cannot take it any longer. I'm not being true to myself. I can't do this any longer. I'm going to speak up against this woman. And then she did. Despite that, while the crowds that attended her concert didn't thin out, that woman won the senator's seat from there. And Taylor Swift broke down because there was a sense of hopelessness there. She said she's just a female, she's just a Trump with a female wig. Because this woman's sense of misogyny and patriarchy is so deep-rooted that she's dragging us backward into some other century. And then she created a song called The Man, which says that, if I were the man, nobody would question me anything. Nobody would have a problem with me opining on politics. And men have the power to change things so far. But then it urges the youth of today that you are young, go for it. You are young, you can change. And she said, if I start writing a song about it from today, when the next midterm elections happen, by then, all the young kids who follow me today would become of a voting age.
That is so powerful. The thought that you are going to use your music, use your voice to stand up and talk about your political beliefs. How many of the men have the courage to do that?
Which is why men like this Newsweek idiot have a problem with her, because she's a woman with power. And she said one more thing, Kiran. She said that, women, she said women artists get frozen in the era where they created the best or the most popular music. That era is associated with them. And so they are supposed to only go on creating that kind of music. She said, so for a woman artist to survive, you have to go on reinventing yourself, but men don't have to do that.
That's so true. That's so true.
So a man doesn't have to go on reinventing himself to be relevant, but a woman artist?
Look at Madonna. She's had to do that all her career. Is that why her tour is called Eras?
It is called the Eras for that reason.
Okay, lovely. And I find it so interesting. I don't know if you know people, but I do know people who have actually planned their foreign trips coinciding with her concerts.
Therefore, Swiftonomics because of that.
And that's how many countries, economies have had tourist influxes because of her concerts.
Correct. So she's uplifted the tourism industry for so many countries. You know that Justin Trudeau, at the beginning of a tour, requested her to please stop by in Canada as well, because he wanted
tourists to come
to help the Canadian economy as well.
Lovely.
Yeah.
But she's not a good role model for young girls and women.
Exactly. So you know that Kanye's and Taylor's enmity, initiated by Kanye, started from the VHM Music Awards, where she was getting the best music video, and he took away her award and said, but Beyonce deserves it. The audience booed him, but Taylor, as unsure as she was, and Kanye being the legend that he is musically, thought that she was being wooed instead. Not long after that, I think they got over this ugly episode in her life, and Kanye sang a song in which he said, Taylor Swift should have sex with me because I made that bitch famous. So he said Taylor might have sex with me because I made that bitch famous. And when she contested that, because he said, I have done this with her permission. When she contested that, his then wife, my daughter's idol and real mother, according to her, Kim Kardashian, released a secretly recorded voice tape in which he's heard explaining to her, saying, he's just heard telling her, is that okay? Is that okay? And she says, thanks for the heads up. Okay. And after that, Taylor Swift got cancelled. But the point is, there is no clarity on what he has said to her that she's okay with. He could just be saying that I take your name in my song, I'm giving you a heads up. But people didn't question that because of the kind of audience and following that Kanye and Kim put together. So she got cancelled, and it really hurt her. And she says in a documentary, Miss Americana, that the documentary starts with her saying, my goal in life has been be a good girl, and do everything it takes for people to say you're a good girl. Get people to like you. So she said that is what drove me until this point in my life. That being on stage, having people like you, saying the right things, making the right noises, she lived for people's approval. But this incident taught her what happens to you when you live for people's approval.
I think that's wonderful. And because what she's done after that is not seeking anyone's approval and doing exactly what she pleases. Exactly. And that is the role model.
And that's why the album is called Reputation.
Yeah. Oh. I read a very interesting anecdote about how when she was in high school, before her first music came out, before she really started climbing the ladder, nobody really liked her.
Okay.
And she was pretty alone and solitary. And then when she They took her out of high school after that, and they homeschooled her parents, because they wanted her to focus on her music and things like that. But years afterwards, when she made it big, she invited all her high school classmates to a concert. And those who could not come, she got them there.
Really? Do you think it's because she wanted to be liked?
Probably. Because she was like still hoping
Rejected.
for their approval.
Yeah.
After all those years.
Yeah.
So
I think
this
deep down,
phase-
everybody wants approval. Okay.
I think that's-
at that age, especially.
I think that's what connects her to so many people, because we are all seeking approval in some way.
Yeah.
And her songs are also so wholesome.
May I just read this out, Kiran?
Yeah.
Wondering if I'd get there quicker if I was a man. And I'm so sick of them coming at me again. Because if I was a man, then I'd be the man. They'd say I hustled, put in the work. They'd say they wouldn't shake their heads and question how.
Oh.
They'd say I hustled, put in the work. They wouldn't shake their heads and question how. Much of this I deserve. What I was wearing, if I was rude, could all be separated from my good ideas and power moves, because she's accused of doing a lot of things because it is strategic. Okay. I'm so sick of running as fast as I can, wondering if I'd get there quicker if I was a man. And I'm so sick of them coming at me again, because if I was a man, then I'd be a man. And finally, she says, what's it like to brag about raking in dollars and getting bitches and models? And it's all good if you're bad, and it's okay if you're mad. If I was out flashing my dollars, I'd be a bitch, not a baller. They'd paint me out to be bad, so it's okay that I'm mad. Because this is it. When a woman makes that kind of money, she's a bitch. And she says this in a documentary, which I urge every woman, young and old, and even every man actually, to watch. It's, let's not trivialize her entire status because teenagers like her. She says in that a 34, 35-year-old woman is an elephant's graveyard. Okay? A successful woman is a bitch. She said we have to stop using these words. There's no slut. There's no bitch. There's no woman who is too much. This is the narrative that young girls today anyway own, right?
Absolutely. And
but she speaks with such conviction that if someone turns around and tells me she's playing to the gallery, she's doing this because, she makes the right noises, I refuse to believe it. And I think people need to stop being so jaded.
And judgmental about her. She has a Harvard course on Taylor Swift and her music and influences.
Really?
Yes, there's a course then. It's not about how she's promoted herself. It's not about how her PR machinery works, so etc., etc. It's about the influences in her music, and you'd be surprised to know that she has some very literary influences in her music. And people don't seem to give her credit for that.
Who are her literary influences?
I think the classicists, the Shakespeare, Donne, vagera, vagera, vagera.
Oh, she's that well read, huh? But she has to be, because
and she writes her own stuff.
She says, I'm not so much a singer, I'm a songwriter. Which is why some of her songs sound the same.
That's a criticism she faces over and over again.
Yeah.
But then she has a devoted audience that will forgive her that, because her songs resonate with them so much.
She'll always have critics, because that kind of success from a woman makes a lot of people uncomfortable.
And a woman who comes in with no background in the music world, no sugar daddies, so to speak. It's just sheer talent and grit and hard work that's got her there.
She's spoken about her eating disorder also, and it's very interesting. She says that it sneaks up to you very slowly and very gradually. And then she said you reach a stage where every day you're counting about what you ate today. And she says she's been through that. Then she realized that while she was looking the size she wanted to be, that gave her a sense of self. She didn't have any energy or stamina that a healthy girl her age must have. And then she said, and what kind of a beauty standard can one conform to? Because if you're too thin, then you don't have an ass. If you have a good ass, then you have a little belly with it. So she said she broke free from that well before she turned 30, because she realized that she shows a picture of herself where her little belly is showing. She said this kind of a photo would have triggered me into not eating. But now I always tell myself, we are not those people. We are not going to buy into that mindset. We have to be comfortable in our own skin. We don't have to, adhere to any beauty standards. And it's okay if my belly shows as long as I feel healthy and strong. Now, are you saying this is not a good role model?
This is the perfect role model in this age of BBLs and
What's BBL?
Brazilian bum lift.
Ooh, yeah, that's
Have you
BBL.
not seen them wandering around Instagram with asses that are so huge and waist that are handspans?
Those are all injected implants. How do you sit on bum implants though? Must be very difficult. Like sitting on inbuilt cushions.
Yeah. And if they get punctured, what happens?
Kiran, I was buying one of those seamless, not thong, seamless body suits to wear under gowns so then they don't show the lining, and not corsets because corsets are inhuman. I'm just talking about seamless, high-rise.
Yeah.
What are they called?
Shapers.
Shapers, yeah. Not even shapers, these are more like undies, okay? So there were these seamless undies hanging with a butt.
Bum built into them. Yes.
Yeah, I saw
Yes.
this for the first time 2 days ago in London.
Yes. I have been scrolling the depths and
I saw
the
this.
darkest depths of Instagram. to see
I was
this.
like, now I know when women wear ball gowns or those satiny dresses.
They suddenly have hip bum.
Yeah. And I've been looking at their bum with envy. Toned bum. It's a very toned butt, but it looks damn funny. 2 hard cutouts for your butt. But this is all that we are doing, even in this day and age, to adhere to a male beauty standard defined by men.
And she's talking against it. And that does not make her a good role model for young women.
And she's admitting, she said that every day I want to fight my inner patriarchy. Every day.
Definitely.
Kiran, she's won 14 Grammys, 39 Billboard Music Awards, and she was the 2023 Time Person of the Year.
Wow.
Yeah. How's that for being an achiever at the age of 32, 34? All this has happened to her like last year.
And there's an exhibition of her concert wear on at the Victoria and Albert Museum.
Oh, I'd love to see that. I love her
That's-
concert clothes.
Lovely. That's going on. And something that we're not talking about, she's pocketed over 700 million in ticket sales to North America alone of a tour. Okay. The total sales of the tickets for the Eras tour is 4.1 billion. My God. Okay. This does not make her a good role model again.
I know.
Yeah. Getting so much money.
Kiran also, because she started seeing Travis Kelce and she started attending the Super Bowl. After that, children, teenagers, young women who were not interested in football have started watching football. So the ticket sales every time the Chiefs are playing, that's his team, they go through the roof because of his association with Taylor. And it's not that he was some nobody to begin with. He's been in a reality show. He is
pretty famous in his own right.
In his own right. Also, he's a very, very big philanthropist, by the way.
Okay. What I also love and what I think is very important that young girls need to see. Forget the revolving door of relationships. See how wholesome they are with each other. Travis and Taylor.
So far.
I mean, we are cynical, old, jaded women, but the fact that he shows up for her, she shows up for him.
But if I was Taylor Swift's boyfriend, I'd show up for her also.
That's true, but she also shows up for him.
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
So
quite
it's not
crazy
one
about
side.
him.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not like, like my balls will fall off if I come on the stage with her and perform.
I know.
And that was so cute.
That was very cute. I watched that performance clip. It was very cute. He carries her.
He carries her. And that's so adorable. I mean, here's a man who's not afraid to shout out from the rooftops that he loves her. You might have some other men who would say that, let me not make a big thing about it because
I'm important in my own right, and let
and
me not go and be a performer on stage.
I'm not a lackey with her.
But look, at the end of the day, let's be a little smart about it. I'm not being jaded here. I'm just saying that it's also likely he knows what she has done for his image as a footballer. He knows what she's done for the ticket sale. So maybe he's also thinking that this is an association that, aside from the fact that he loves her, will also benefit the game.
Okay. So let's wait and watch and see what comes out of it. I mean, I was the one who was cheering when Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez got together again, and look what happened.
But they've broken up again, right?
Look what happened. So,
do you know why they broke up?
I do not have access to such insider information, darling.
all the trolling you do on Instagram. Okay, before we wind this up, one anecdote I should talk about is that she got groped by some guy from the music industry. And while taking a photograph, of which there is evidence, his hand was on her butt. So she sued him
Lovely.
for molestation, groping, whatever. And there were enough people around who were eyewitnesses. And yet she had to go to court again and again and again to prove the validation of her claim. And then she said, if I, with my power, have to go this to, and with so much evidence, have to go to town and stake everything that I have to prove that this man is guilty, then how do voiceless women in this world, unseen women, how much harder it would be for them to be heard? And by the way, this guy sued her for damages.
Lovely.
And then she sued him back. So there's some backstory there that I'm not fully well versed with. But this is the crux of it.
But I like the fact that she didn't let it go.
Exactly. So that's the other thing. And then she urged women that don't let these things go. Don't overlook it. Don't ignore it.
Because we came from a generation where we just sort of let it go, most of it.
Yeah, it was par for the course.
Yeah, you just didn't kick up a fuss. You got on with your work and you didn't want to be the troublemaker.
And especially in the world of journalism.
Yeah. We've seen that.
With editors exercising their power.
Power and pelf on their territory, much like dogs marking their territory. But anyway, that's
the pelvic power.
The pelvic power. That's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
But right now, all we want to say is Taylor Swift is perhaps the best role model young girls have today.
Correct.
And let no asinine Newsweek opinion writers convince you otherwise.
Correct.
Just enjoy her music and enjoy what she does.